go here at Lakeside. Heat 1, round 5, the Shell Championship. John Bowe, Glenn Seton, off they go from the front. In behind them, you can see Dick Johnson just a little tardy at the start there. Peter Brock's made a great start. Down they come side by side. It is going to be quite a tussle into the first corner. Who's going to win out? Yes, John Bowe has done it. Peter Brock has slotted into second spot in front of Glenn Seton. Then Alan Jones, Dick Johnson, Thomas Muzera in behind them, and they've all got through safely in that first corner. As so often happens here, Wilco, a tremendous tyre battle ahead of us. These guys have gone for all sorts of different compounds and constructions to try and combat the high tyre wear here at Lakeside. Should be fascinating as the races unfold.
That was a good start by Brocky, right up there in second spot already. He'll be very, very pleased with that. Dick Johnson got a lot of wheel spin off the line, and it hurt him getting into the first corner, but he's still well placed there in fifth spot.
John Bowe leads them through onto the main straight for the first time. Peter Brock close behind as they come across the start-finishing line. There's Alan Grice, very competitive running, qualifying, 8th fastest man here, and set to do great progress through this race. They come across the start-finish line after one lap, and it's John Bowe in control, ahead of Peter Brock. And Bowe, this will be the telling of, I think, a calculated risk, you could say, Alan, on tyres here today. Let's hope that the tyres hang in for the full distance. Well, I think this is the toughest of all the circuits on tyres, isn't it? Sure is.
It is tough, Gary, and 39 laps around here is very, very demanding on the tyres. The swing from left to right, it's tremendously hard on the sidewalls of the tyres. They just turn to marshmallow very, very quickly. But looking here from Dunlop Race Cam on board with Dick Johnson up to the top of the circuit.
Oh, we've had three gone in over the top part of the track. That's just under the Dunlop Bridge.
That's Heffernan and the Price Attack Commodore.
Phil Ward, I think, in the Nokia car, and just sticking out there front there, David Attard in the Alcar entry as well. There may be even more cars involved.
Yellow flag's up, green flag saying okay from this boy's point of view.
Attard gets out and
falls out.
Paul Romano, who may, no, that's another part of the track. He's okay as well. But those cars parked in a precarious part of the track. The yellow flags will be waving furiously. The race continues. John Bowe in control. Peter Brock in second. First, the Peter Jackson cars in third as they come past the crash site right now. Well, John Bowe's obviously made the right tyre choice at this moment, but of course that might tend to change as the race unfolds.
All of these fellows have to settle down very quickly, Gary, and if they don't get into their rhythm and their nursing rhythm, because 39 laps around here, there isn't a tire made in the world that can be just hammered into the ground lap after lap. They'll have to be a little bit careful with them.
We're certainly watching John Bowe's progress. Right behind him, Peter Brock on what he calls the bedrock specials. Very, very hard Bridgestone tyres, the hardest he can get on the car, and he's convinced that it's going to be very tough around here today. Which means that Bowe's really got to make a break on Brock to get away. Otherwise, when these tyres of Brock's come into play, he's going to start bridging the gap. Let's see the prang again. Oh, look, they've gone every which way here. There were 4 cars in. Oh, no, Romano missed it as he went through. So that was good luck for him, but the other 3 have all ended up there in the wall on the left. There have been a couple of bad prangs there over the years here at Lakeside.
They've got a little bit out of shape on the back straight, and there isn't enough room for 4 cars to make that kind of an exit. Here we go. John Bowe down into Hungary, up the hill towards the top of the circuit. A tricky little right-hand horseshoe. You just have to settle the car, get her in the right spot. Now gun it. Down the hill here. He'll be flat. Position it for this right-hander.
He's certainly flat, Alan. He's just gone under the lap record, set a new lap record of 52.131. So John Bowe really on fire here in the opening laps of this contest. Larry Perkins being counted back there by Mark Skaife. The Winfield and Castrol cars running almost in tandem back in positions 8, 9 and 10.
Yes, a lot of drivers realizing that 39 laps around here is almost an endurance lap. I would venture to say they'd rather do 33 laps around Bathurst as a gas segment. This is going to be tough.
What you're saying is that Larry Perkins, Mark Skaife are quite happy to be where they are at this moment.
I think they're just getting themselves psyched into the long distance event here today.
As Paul Romano in the pits, the privateer running on just a shoestring budget.
Copped some damage obviously in that little tangle. We was lucky to avoid worse.
Oh, that's a shame. He's out of the race, and Paul Romano. At
least he'll run in Heat 2, which the others won't.
Yep.
Lights ablaze. Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon. And we're looking at it from our 7 Sports race cam aboard Neil Crompton's Coca-Cola Commodore.
Tony's still getting to grips with this new Falcon, brand new at the beginning of this season, so obviously only the 5th race under its belt here this weekend. Doing a real good job. Feels at home. He's had a few laps around this circuit, being his home test circuit.
Yeah, well, he's very confident. He ducks up the inside, does he? No, Crompton holds him out as they come out of the carousel. You couldn't get much closer than that, Tony. right up behind the Coca-Cola Commodore. Lights ablaze and letting Crompton know in no uncertain fashion he's trying to push his way through. This is the battle for 10th and 11th position.
Tony usually manages to get his message across in these situations, doesn't he?
He'll do it.
Just sticks the nose of the Castrol Falcon up the inside. They're side by side as they come out of Hungry Corner. But Crompton's got the ideal line as they go over the top of the hill. We take race cam again, and boy, this is what Crompton's seeing out of the rearview mirror of Coke number 7.
If he's looking.
So Longhurst tries to bear down on the Holden ahead of him, runs out on the ripple strip there. He tries to get maximum power to the ground for this 250 km/h left-hand sweeper. And you can't see him from this angle, but yes, you can. Alan Grice is tucked right in on the tail of Tony Longhurst. Longhurst and the Winfield team running some new development Yokohama tyres this weekend, and they're very coy about telling exactly what they'll. Look how close Longhurst is there.
He hasn't hit him. He hasn't put a scratch on him. This is real professional driving. And
Crompton's doing very well under pressure here.
He is. Sporting driving on Tony's part.
Well, Neil knows, like, if he's holding this sort of pace at the moment, he's on a very hard set of UK-built tyres. He's very confident they'll last the distance, so if he can maintain this pace. Mark Larkham in trouble there on the Mitre 10 Falcon.
Doesn't look as if he's hit anything. He's going to try and bring her back on without ripping the spoiler off. He seems to be okay.
It's been a baptism of fire for this team, but keeping it straight and back on the island is the main thing. This great battle here, though. Out of the back of Crompton's car, looking at Tony Longhurst, 10th and 11th position as they come across the start-finish line once again. But Payday is at the front of the grid, and here's the man who's leading it, John Bowe, car 18. The man leading the Australian Touring Car Championship. Well, he opened the series with blinding performances both at Sandown and at Symonds Plains. Deserves to be at the head of the championship, and actually today is a pivotal round, because if he takes the points here again today, the rest are going to have their work cut out the rest of the season trying to reel him in. They've really got to get some points on him today. As Mark Skaife proved that in the 94 championship, and Seton the year before him. Once you get that big start, and you can just go through the championship and try and defend that cushion, and that's what John Bowe's staring down. He's more in trouble here. John Trimble, the Daily Planet car's gone round and is facing the oncoming traffic. He got a nice sign from the other driver there as he took off. I'm okay. I didn't even see who was in the other car.
Here we go to Peter Brock.
Neil Shembry, I think it might have been. This is the battle behind Bowe. This is the battle for second and third position. Peter Brock with Glenn Seton close behind him.
Yes, I think Glenn is very close behind him, Mark. He's shadowing him very efficiently. Glenn could be very easily on a softer Bridgestone. Peter has advocated that he's quite happy on the harder version, and it served him well in a couple of other heats, a couple of other rounds that we've had earlier in the year.
Well, it's interesting with the Peter Jackson forwards, Alan. I was talking to Glenn yesterday. They go for the rock-hard tyre on the back of the Falcon that Brock uses, but for the front of the car, they go for a slightly softer tyre because mainly the Falcon's not quite as hard on tyres as the Commodore. So Seton very, very confident that he has the setup tyre-wise here to do the day. And Brock equally confident with his setup, so it should be an absorbing contest as these laps wear down.
Although these three drivers will be very aware of the lap countdown. They'll be watching, not only watching their pit board, they'll be listening to their team managers saying, okay, how are you?
I'll tell you what, Seton is the fastest man on the circuit now. He's just undercut that lap record set by Bowe, 52.077. So he's undercut the lap record set only moments ago. You can read the body language of the car, can't you? He's just looking a little anxious there. He wants to push Brock a little harder. He wants to get by. Yeah, well, lapping faster than Brock at this stage. So Seton follows him through in third position. They come the main straight there. You can see the gaps quite clearly. John Bowe in first position is Shell 18 just going out of shot. There's Brock and Seton in second and third positions. So the battle for the top three still very closely matched. And Bowe's only got to make a slip up here. These two will be right on top of him.
A slight slip at that, Mark. It won't take anything, and these two will close on him very substantially.
Bowe getting into traffic now, just out of shot here in front of these two cars. So this may be the chance that Brock and Seton have been waiting for. Although Brock won't want to blink either, because Glenn Seton's all over him like a rash.
Well,
he won't even have to look in his rear view mirror at this stage. He'll see the blue flashing automatically.
Bowe's negotiated those two slower cars. One of them was the Mitre 10 car. They're going through on the inside of that now. Brock goes through, so does Seton. One more car to get by here.
Tremendous fight back from the Peter Jackson team. They're in all sorts of trouble at Bathurst only a couple of rounds ago, but Seton's gone back. He's done his homework. They're getting more power out of the car. It's always handled very well, and now he's right back into title contention as he tucks up behind the wing of the Mobile 05 Commodore. Boy, it looks like he's cutting faster laps than Brock here, Alan.
Yes, he's got it. He's got his mind on the lead now. You can see he's trying to position him, or trying to get position. Brocky doesn't have to move over, of course. He's done it nicely there, but I do think he is holding Glenn up a bit at the moment.
Brock's last time around a 53.28, I should say, and Seton just a tenth faster than that, but he's being held up by Brocky. I'd love to see what sort of progress he can make if he gets past. But 05, he's going to put up a battle here, and as Alan Jones said earlier on this morning, this play's very, very difficult to pass. The car's so evenly matched.
Well, the thing is, it takes you 3 laps to get set up for a pass, and then you've got about 0.03 of a second to commit yourself, and if you miss it, then you've got 3 more laps to wait to get set up again.
To get going, yes. It's a real driver's circuit, Gary, and very, very difficult to put a fellow like Peter Brock in a position where you can nail him, and he's not about to just allow that to happen.
We've had 35 years of racing here at this Lakeside circuit they're celebrating this year. Has it outlived its usefulness like some people claim?
I wouldn't like to get into that just at the moment. Thank you very much.
It still provides great racing.
It's
still
one of the finest circuits in the country for drivers to find out what they can really do. I'm sure it could lend itself to a shovel here or there, improvements.
It's a brave circuit.
It is. You do have to be brave here, extremely, and you have to have your car working well for you if it's going to serve you well. And we're looking at some well-serving cars here at the moment. I think 05 is handling very well at the moment. If it wasn't doing what it's doing, Glenn would have driven by him by now.
Holden Racing Team, no shortage of engine performance here too. Eric Gaynor now in charge of engine development, Holden Racing Team, following the departure of Rob Benson.
And you can hear the difference.
Well, all the drivers, they really are enjoying the performance from the cars now, and they really are genuine contenders, the HRT cars now. They've
got him. Oh, no, he hasn't.
Not yet.
Had a look down the inside, got on the brakes, just enough to pull the nose clear of the 05 Commodore, but he knows this is going to be a very tough job here. Meanwhile, Bowe is out ahead of him and opening up the gap to second and third.
Yes, these fellows in there scrap because Peter is genuinely doing a little defensive driving, but certainly not antagonistically. Is giving Bowe just a little chance. Bit of smoke there, I think, was just overrun on the engine, not tire smoke.
And this is just the situation that Bowe would want, isn't it, Alan? He's got second and third fighting amongst each other, and as you said, he's got to keep this car nice and straight, keep those nice, consistent, smooth laps happening, and he's opened the gap to 3 seconds now.
That's right. The less pressure on him, the less defensive driving he's got to do, the longer those tyres are going to last him.
Yes, he can nurse it through now. Well, I won't say now.
Oh, John Bowe, he did it in qualifying, so notice that he was going to be the man to beat today, and he holds premier position midway through this first heat. John Bowe for Shell FAI Falcon, ahead of Peter Brock, Glenn Seton, Alan Jones, and Dick Johnson, the top 5. Well, he tried, and he succeeded at last. Glenn Seton has slipped by Peter Brock and takes over second spot behind John Bowe here at Lakeside. And Brock battled as long and as hard as he could, but don't count him out yet. He has got the hard compound tyres, and it won't be surprised to see him right there again at the finish. The top 3 at the moment have dropped off Alan Jones just a little in 4th place. Dick Johnson also back there with Jones and Thomas Mazera. This is where the action is at the front. Glenn Seton, after hounding Brock for 5 or 6 laps, has managed to slip by, goes by John Trimble now, one of the slower back markers, and sets off in pursuit of John Bowe. Day here at Lakeside. The weather has clouded over, a couple of showers early, but it's fine and dry at the present time as we take Dunlop race cam with Dick Johnson, who is currently in 5th position and just biding his time, waiting for things to unfold in front of him. That's Thomas Mazera right behind him.
I was going to say, Wilco, a pretty difficult way to bide your time with Thomas Mazera coming bearing down behind him. Thomas driving his 2 or 3-year-old car this weekend. The new car he debuted at Phillip Island, which he ended up putting in the fence, is just being reassembled down in the workshops of Melbourne. So he's running the old girl once again at Lakeside, doing a fair job of it too. 6th position for Thomas, behind Johnson, Jones, Brock, Seton, and of course our race leader Bowe.
Yeah, to do it in this car is very commendable.
Well, there are never really too many old cars come out of a professional race team. The windscreen and the roof panel might be old, but I think there's some pretty fresh running gear there, and he's doing well.
Alan Jones, who survived a little bit of a mishap in the Peter Jackson Dash for Cash, is out there mixing it and not far off the front runners in 5th position at the present time, after a terrific performance by both he and Glenn Seton at the round at Phillip Island in atrocious conditions down there. All credit to them to be able to come through the way they did.
A fine team, and cars always tremendously well presented. They look a treat, as all the lead cars do, I might add, but particularly well-maintained vehicles, and I know safety preeminent in the minds of the mechanics that nurse these cars. And there is a lot of nursing. People think that they're ordinary Falcons or ordinary Commodores drop down out of the sky here on Sunday morning. They aren't. These are $300,000 cars that every nut and bolt polished, x-rayed, double-checked, triple-checked, and preeminent in the minds of the professional mechanics is the safety of the driver.
And on top of that, the effort that goes into the presentation of the cars is vital, because this is what it's all about. This is the show. This is what gets the people in. John Bowe still highballing in front. Heat 1, round 5, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. He is the leader from Glenn Seton. There goes Glenn. Here comes Peter Brock in 3rd position, keeping a lookout now for Alan Jones in the 2nd of the Peter Jackson cars, holding down 4th position. The serene Lakeside in the background there. Here comes Dick Johnson. He is in 6th position at the present time, followed closely by Thomas Mazera. That's the way they stand on the track at this point. John Bowe really has had a trouble-free, very comfortable, unpressured run in front, and that is exactly the way he wanted it to be. Dunlop race cam with Dick Johnson, and we're looking at Thomas Mazera in 015, the MobileNet Commodore, hounding him relentlessly as the laps wind down in this first heat, round 5 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship at Lakeside. Johnson's teammate John Bowe continues to lead, and lead comfortably at this stage from Glenn Seton and Peter Brock, but we've got a real dogfight going on here.
Yeah, Dick Johnson on the English-produced Dunlop tyres, just holding off Mazera there, and he's doing well. I mean, he's in the slipstream. He can fade off a bit there through the left-hand kink, not taking any chances there about getting unsettled, but closes again on Dick under brakes here for the right-hander in the carousel. But the Mobil 1 car going very well.
Trevor Ashby in trouble there in the auto-colour Lansvale Smash Repairs car as he tries to get back onto the track. Oh, it's got some rough country to negotiate there, but just about no, as he become high-sided on the ripple strip on the corner of the track. Oh, there, that's a difficult situation.
It's a bad place to be parked. It's almost a... Oh no, he's getting out of there.
It's just on the approach, or the exit I should say, from Hungry Corner. Dick Johnson and Thomas Mazera drive by. Meanwhile, at the front, 5 seconds the gap between John Bowe and Glenn Seton. A further 3.4 seconds back to Brock. Another over 8 seconds back to Alan Jones. And a further 6 seconds back to this battle for 5th and 6th.
Bumper cam with Larry Perkins. Oh, no. Come on.
Did you get a cigarette paper down between those two there, Al?
Not too sure. I don't think anything more.
Very, very finely judged pressure driving from Larry Perkins there as he just moves up so close to the back of the Coke Commodore. This is the battle for 7th and 8th position. Still in the top 10 here. Perkins trying to sneak past Gardner. Good performance from Gardner here for a difficult start to the week. And look at this, there's a whole gaggle of cars. Mark Skaife in the Winfield Commodore and Tony Longhurst behind him. The 4 of them, bumper to bumper, as they come onto the main straight once again.
Let's not forget the finishing position in this heat is where they start the next one, so they're all looking for the best possible finish here in this heat. It gives them a good slingshot on the grid for the next heat.
Well, position in the top 10 is nothing to scoff at this level of competition. This is the battle of 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Alan Grice, who we spoke to just before the race, running in 11th position just behind this quartet.
Well, I'd be happy to say that this is some of the toughest touring car racing in the world, and anybody that think they could come from anywhere in the world and drop into this top 10 and eclipse them, I think would be dreaming. This is a very, very savage competition, and we've got a dozen cars that you're split by less than a second. That's quite incredible.
We've seen him turn white at the knuckles and the gills before at Bathurst.
Oh, no. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Who's the meat and the sandwich?
Neil Shembry just cut across the road to give them room, but it's all been disconnected back behind them. Cars went everywhere there, and it was remarkable to be able to get through without any damage.
There's a slight hesitation there. Larry Perkins exploited the situation, and he was right in there like a flash.
So Wayne Gardner, previously in 7th position, now moves back to 10th in one fell swoop. Larry Perkins, as Alan said, capitalised on that situation brilliantly. Mark Skaife pushed his way up to Tony Longhurst. Gardner left out to dry, so he gets shuffled back to 10th position.
Here we got Larry Perkins on Castrol race cam coming down the main straight.
Look at the battle behind him too. Alan Longhurst pushes up side by side. He ducks back just as they come through the sweeper there. In behind Skaife. Terrific battle here between Longhurst and Skaife.
Saw Mark get a little bit wide when he came onto the straight, and I think Tony had revs up and was able to really just get that couple of meters on him, but good acceleration there on the Winfield car as he comes back now onto this flowing back straight. Here we go. John Bowe still holding Glenn Seton off, but boy, can he do it?
Well, you don't need the stopwatches anymore, Alan. It's under 1 second. Seton closing right in on the bumper of Shell 18 here. Lap times last time around again, he's taking the second off Bowe's times. It looks like his tyres are fading just at the critical moment. Seton right on the bumper of the car. He's really taking enormous amounts of real estate out of his lead. He's right on him here as they come out of Hungary Corner down toward the straight. Could Seton take it on the final lap?
He wants to be right on his bumper bar here because he'll be thinking about nailing him on the straight if he can. Where John will have to be careful is through the left-hander onto the kink, or the left-hander through the kink. And Seton might just have enough momentum. It's looking possible.
1 lap to go. Bowe has led from the outset. Can he stall Glenn Seton just for that next 50 seconds? Less than that, 40 seconds to the finish line.
Again, last time around, Seton was a whole 1 second a lap faster than Bowe. So Bowe is fading. Can he hold on with this concerted attack from Glenn Seton in the final lap? You can see the car gets a little twitchy, a little bit out of shape. John's driving right on the ragged edge here as Seton zeroes in behind him. They'll have a look down the inside as they come into Hungary. Watch this. But Bowe, very good defensive driving. He covers his tracks effectively. Seton is going to run out of options here unless Bowe makes a mistake. Seton all over the back of Bowe as they come through the final 2 corners of this opening 39-lap contest. Seton doesn't have an option here, does he, Al?
No, 1 more to go, and he's wobbling a bit, John. You can see the rear of the car there just having a little wobble. Glenn's very close. I don't think he's got enough room to actually pull out.
Oh, checkered flag for John Bowe. Tremendous win from JB under enormous pressure there in the final laps. Peter Brock will come across for 3rd position, and it's daylight back to local hero Johnson and Thomas Mazera in 5th position. What a tremendous contest.
Well, that is what it is all about. Some smart decision making before the start, some unbelievable driving as the cars go over the finish line, and here we see the battle for 4th and 5th. They haven't finished yet. About to, though, as Dick Johnson just manages to stall off Thomas Mazera. They've been racing like that for the last 20 laps, and they finish that way, nose to tail across the line, and that has been a great contest. Several great contests within the one race there for this first heat of round 5 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Well, let's check them officially on the Shell race score. There is no doubt about the winner. John Bowe holding on to beat Glenn Seton in the first heat of this 5th round of the championship. Peter Brock finished 3rd. Dick Johnson in 4th position. Thomas Mazera in the 2nd mobile car in 5th spot. Then Larry Perkins. Mark Skaife in 7th. Tony Longhurst, good job to finish 8th. Alan Grice got